In the glittering spires of Manhattan, where skyscrapers pierced the winter sky like frozen daggers, Alexander Sterling reigned supreme. At 38, the CEO of Sterling Dynamics, a tech conglomerate that bent silicon to his will, was a man forged in the fires of ambition and tempered by solitude. His days blurred into nights of boardroom battles and encrypted deals, his nights into solitary whiskies in a penthouse that echoed with the ghosts of deals won and hearts discarded. Alexander was cold, they said, eyes like polished obsidian, a smile as rare as a summer snow, his touch as fleeting as market fluctuations. Love, a variable he'd long excised from his equations. His sister, Vivian, a whirlwind of empathy in a world of algorithms, had other plans. One last blind date, Alex, she'd pleaded over a video call from her cozy Brooklyn brownstone, her voice laced with the stubborn hope only family could muster. For me, if it flops, I swear, no more setups. But you're freezing over, brother. Let someone in before you turn to stone. He'd agreed, not from sentiment, but obligation, a final concession to the one tether to his humanity. The venue, Le Ciel, a rooftop bistro perched atop the Sterling Tower itself, where the city sprawled like a jeweled chessboard below. Alexander arrived precisely at 8, his wool overcoat draped like armor, a single red rose in hand as per Vivian's archaic instructions. The hostess led him to a candlelit corner, where frost etched the glass walls, mirroring the chill in his veins. She was already there, a lone heart, 29, with hair like burnished copper cascading in loose waves, and eyes the hue of sea glass after a storm, soft green flecked with gold. She wore a simple emerald dress that hugged her like whispered secrets, a silver locket at her throat catching the light. No designer labels, no calculated poise, just an easel and sketchpad propped beside her chair, as if she'd wandered in from a forgotten artist's garret rather than the curated chaos of New York's dating scene. Alexander, her voice was warm honey over gravel, laced with a faint Irish lilt that spoke of misty cliffs and hearth fires. He nodded, extending the rose like a truce flag. Alone, Vivian's descriptions did you no justice. A lie, polished as his cufflinks, Vivian had said little beyond, artistic soul, and, be kind. She laughed, a sound like wind chimes in a gale, light, unforced. Descriptions are sketches, not masterpieces. Sit, before the city steals your breath entirely. They ordered, for him, a crisp Sauvignon Blanc, for her, mulled cider steaming with cinnamon promises. Conversation flowed tentatively at first. His mergers and acquisitions met her tales of mural painting in abandoned warehouses, her volunteer shifts at shelters where she'd coax stories from the voiceless. Alexander listened, or tried to. Words like empathy and vulnerability were foreign code, glitches in his system. But Alone's gaze held no judgment, only curiosity, as if he were a canvas waiting for color. As the first course arrived, seared scallops kissed with lemon zest, she tilted her head. Tell me, Alexander Sterling, king of circuits and codes, what's the last thing that made your heart race? Not a stock surge, but something real. He faltered, fork midway to his lips. Real. The memories surfaced unbidden. His father, crumbling under Al's, gripping his hand in that sterile hospital room, whispering, don't let success eclipse you, son. Alexander had buried it deep, building empires to outrun the ache. Closing a hostile takeover, he replied, voice edged like frostbite. The thrill of the win. Alone didn't flinch. Instead, she reached across the table, her fingers, stained faintly with charcoal, brushing his. Wins are echoes. What about the losses that shape you? Her touch was electric, not in conquest, but communion, a spark that thawed the permafrost around his guarded core. The night deepened, the city below a tapestry of twinkling lights. Alone shared her own fractures, orphaned young, raised by a grandmother whose folk tales wove magic into mundane scars. I paint to remember, she said, flipping open her sketchpad. There, amid swirls of midnight blue and amber glow, was a portrait, not of him, but through him, a boy with shadowed eyes, standing at a precipice, one foot in shadow, the other in dawn. Vivian sent a photo. But I saw more. The weight you carry, like Atlas with algorithms. Alexander stared, transfixed. No one had seen him. Truly seen, since his father's last breath. The rose wilted forgotten on the table as he confessed, words tumbling like avalanched snow, the loneliness of pinnacles, the deals that cost souls, the fear that tenderness was a flaw in the code. Aloan's eyes shimmered, not with pity, but recognition. We're all blind dates with ourselves first, she murmured. But tonight, let's rewrite the script. Dessert came, chocolate lava cake, molten heart spilling forth, and with it, a dare. She led him to the edge, where the parapet overlooked the Hudson's inky ribbon. Close your eyes, she said. He did, the world narrowing to her voice, her hand in his. Feel the wind, not as obstacle, but invitation. When he opened them, she was sketching again, capturing the vulnerability cracking his facade. By midnight, as snowflakes began their silent descent, Alexander realized this wasn't surrender. It was awakening. Aloan heart, he said, voice raw as winter dawn, you've hacked my defenses. Stay, not for Vivian, or pity. For us, she smiled, tucking the sketch into his coat pocket. Only if you promise sketches over spreadsheets sometimes. Deal. Their kiss was a revolution. Soft at first, then fierce, tasting of cider and possibility, sealing a pact against the cold. Below, the city pulsed on, oblivious, but in that tower's embrace, an empire shifted, from frost to fire, isolation to interconnection. Vivian's text buzzed later. Told you. Magic happens in the blind spots. Alexander silenced it, pulling Aloan closer. For the first time in years, his heart raced, not for conquest, but creation. And in the thawing of Alexander Sterling, Aloan heart found not a king, but a canvas, together, painting a legacy of warmth in a world grown chill. Thank you for watching this story till the end. Sparkles. If it touched your heart, please support us. Thumbs up, give it a like. Speech balloon, share your thoughts in the comments. Bell, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. Your support helps us create more stories that inspire and make you believe in miracles. Your participation means a lot to us heart.